cloud. And we are recording, and we are going to be going live here in a second. I want to share this to a group. It's slowly connecting, guys. And I believe as soon as Sarah activates it,
there's so many moving parts.
oh my God, there really are. And I promise this will go. She has not seen my message yet.
Well, you're doing it live, so worst case scenario, she approves it and it just is delayed by 15 minutes or so, because we're recording now, aren't we?
We are recording at this point. So if y'all are ready to go, I will hand this over to you, Honor, and everybody have a lovely evening.
Thank you, Sarai. All right, so we are ready to start the June Midrealm Bardic Showcase. The theme for this showcase is home. So I'm really excited to see everybody's interpretation, be it happy or sad, what home means. And I'm really looking forward to this. So our first performer is Hilla Stormbringer. So Hilla, if you would please unmute yourself and take it away.
Hello, I'm Hilla Stormbringer, and I am the Bard of the Midlands. And so at some point this year, I became Bard of the Midlands at the last Baroness Wars, so I decided that it would behoove me to write a song about the Midlands. So, sunrise over open water, sunset there across the river, wind blows over rolling prairie, for the Midlands is my home, land that the dragon encircles, land of the wide open skies, land of a people undaunted, whose we remember, and just like an ember, leaves into flame we'll rise. Sunrise over open water, sunset there across the river, wind blows over rolling prairie, for the Midlands is my home. Fighter and weaver and brewer, those who give service or oft, those without fail who enrich us, never fair weather, stronger together, sharing one song in our hearts. Wind sunrise over open water, sunset there across the river, wind blows over rolling prairie, for the Midlands is my home. No matter where journeys take us, no matter where we might roam, no matter how long we're parted, Hearthfires are burning, for when we're returning, the Midlands will welcome us home. Sunrise over open water, sunset there across the river. Wind blows over rolling prairie, for the Midlands is my home. Midlands ever is my home.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna type something in here because people are asking where the stream is. So I'm just real quickly going to type in so that people know, waiting on moderator to approve the post. Ha ha ha. All right, back to the important stuff. So our next performer is Elspeth. And Elspeth, if you would unmute yourself and then give us a little introduction about your song. Take it away.
Good evening. I'm Elspeth Baruma Ingenwe Bryan from the Canton of Wildwood in the Barony of North Keep in the Kingdom of Onsteora. So the song that I'm singing today is about my home here in the Canton of Wildwood. I wrote it when I first joined the SCA. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. So it just kind of describes and talks about the wonderful area that I'm from and how I feel about it. So it's called the Song of Wildwood. If y'all are ready, I'll be happy to give it to you. Okay. I found my home in the land of Wildwood, where the dogwood grows and the redbud blows. The rivers they run through the valleys and the hillsides, and the gloaming hears the whippoorwill sing. The sun shines bright in the land of Wildwood, where the white-tailed deer and the red squirrel play. I walk along the valleys and the hillside and sit at dusk while the whippoorwill sings. My children grow in the land of Wildwood. I see their smile with the red dirt play. Their laughter is heard through the valleys and the hillsides, and they catch fireflies while the whippoorwill sings. My love resides in the land of Wildwood. I see a smile where the redbird grows. Side by side we stroll through the and fall asleep while the whippoorwill sings. I found my home in the land of Wildwood,
Thank you, Elsbeth. You cut out a little bit with your mic. So what we're going to do is actually at the end of this, maybe if you could tinker with your mic, we'll ask you to perform it again because I want to make sure that I hear all of it because I heard half of it. And it was beautiful, the half that I heard.
I might be able to put an earpiece in because I'm on my phone.
That would be
So.
wonderful. Yes. So be prepared to do it again. All right.
Okay.
Awesome. So our next performer is Hosakawa Gentaro Masahiro. And I believe you have a poem. If you would give us a little bit of information on that, if you would unmute yourself and take it away.
Hi, my name is Masahiro. I'm from the March of Turnworth and the barony of the Middle Marches in the Midrealm. What I've written today is a poem in a Japanese style. It is referred to as a choka. It's a type of waka or Japanese poetry. The title of my piece is called Songbird. Does a caged songbird dream of a world beyond, of places unseen, of stretching its wings to fly? Or does it lament iron bars of its prison, bound day after day to cry despair to the void? What hope can be found for a shackled nightingale? Can a songbird's voice mean more than its melody? And are the silent mute or afraid to warble? We too are songbirds, dreaming, lamenting, silent, bound within a cage. With the cold grasp of winter, free us to a promised spring.
I keep clapping before I unmute myself so you can't hear me clapping, but and did you write that yourself?
Yes.
That's awesome. Well done.
Thank you.
And I don't know if anyone else is feeling that during quarantine, but I'm definitely getting a little bit of that going on here. Our next performer is actually it's Ursula Mortimer, and she was having Zoom issues, so I will actually share my screen for a recording that she did suddenly, and we'll have that going. So give me just a second. Share screen. Bum-ba-da-ba. There we go. Take it away, Ursula.
Calais. My home abides unto this day. Its cobbled streets where children play in summer sun or autumn frost. Its stormy winds and treetops tossed seem not the same, but far away. Now all these lands rise in affray, and fathers gainst their sons inveigh, and pen and sword in conflict crossed my home abides. Kindly Vesta, grant, I pray, the land I love be never lost. Preserve us, at whatever cost, that I, to my life's end, may say my home abides.
Yay! And that was original composition as well, in case anyone was wondering. Our next performer is our very own Bredalwyn. So Bredalwyn, if you would give me a little introduction and then take it away. So if you would unmute yourself.
Okie dokie. Originally, I'm from the Midlands, and there's I'm one of the original people in Black Hawk, and in that area is the state park called Rock Cut State Park that has some walking paths on it. And on one of the paths is a park bench, but the home, where the home is the park. I used to walk the road around it, something like 5 miles, and there's times where I would do it twice in a row. But I would bring out my battle harp and play on this park bench or sit on the bank of Pierce Lake. But it's a home. It's home. But this is a piece I had written long time ago about that park bench. The barge chair was old, ancient when new, deep in the forest, the Craig Toriad woods. Chiseled stone formed its face, its ornate back. Skilled spirals swirled, twirled subtly. Its life was real. Enchantment bidding just for the chosen few, just the chosen hearts. A great grotto grown, open, inviting all. Come here, you. Rest and travel. Come here, you. Enlightenment learned, legends lost and found, timbers tall and strong surround the old bard. Come here, you. Echoes through time and dream. The bard's chair, serene, deep in the rocks woods. The bard's awen lingers, as does what he sees. For the world goes on, too fast, too restless to see the harper, to hear his whole heart. The bard's chair is dormant, is empty, alone. The forest winding path meanders along. Here I will harp. Here I will invite legends to join me. Legends to inspire. The bard's chair lives on.
Lovely, lovely. That was beautiful. Always so calming and soothing, which is nice. I need that. Maybe could you come to my house and play just like during the rest of this pandemic? If you just play. That would be amazing, please. Our next performer is Katrin Draper. So if you would please unmute yourself and take it away.
Good evening, all. My name is Katrin Draper. I spent most of my SCA career in the Midrealm, specifically the Oaken region. Last year, I moved to the Shire of Talmere in the Kingdom of Meridies. And while the people here are very nice, I'm also Miss the Midrealm. So the tale I have for you this evening is the tale of the Peddler of Swaffham. There was once a peddler in the town of Swaffham who worked long and hard, and he'd spent the days trudging with his pack on his back and his dog by his side, selling his wares. And when he would come home in the evenings, he would be so tired he would just go straight to sleep. Well, one night, he had a dream that if he were to go to far off London town, he would hear joyful tidings. He thought nothing of it. It was a dream. And he continued the day doing his work, came home the next evening, fell asleep, had the very same dream, that if he would travel to far off London town, he would hear joyful tidings. He thought this a bit odd, but he went about his day when he woke up. And that evening when he went to sleep, he had the very same dream again. He told his wife about it, and she said, "So you have dreamed 3 nights in a row that if you go off to far London town, to London Bridge in far London town, you will hear joyful tidings?" And the peddler answered yes. And the wife said, "Well, everybody knows that if you dream something 3 nights in a row, it must be true. Therefore, go you off to London Bridge in London town and hear these joyful tidings that are waiting for you." And so the peddler did travel, and he traveled along until he came to the great London Bridge. And all along the sides of the bridge, there were people buying and selling, begging and giving alms, and a great deal of commerce. And he stood there, waiting to hear these joyful tidings. The day went by. He did not hear these joyful tidings. So he went to sleep at the side of the road. Next morning, he was back on London Bridge. And again, a great deal of hustle, a great deal of bustle, people coming and going, buying and selling, weeping and laughing. And yet, no one stopped to give him joyful tidings. So he waited, and the 3rd day he returned, and he stood there, as before, comings and goings, hustlings and bustlings, buyings and sellings and such, until one shopkeeper, who had watched him for the 3rd day now, came up to him and said, "Don't you mean to sell anything?" "No," said the peddler. "Well, are you here begging for alms?" I will not beg for alms as long as I have gainful employment." "Then what is it you do here? I see you standing here 3 days now, and you neither buy nor sell, you speak to no one." And the peddler said, "Well, I have had a dream that if I were to come to London Bridge in London town, I would hear joyful tidings." And the peddler and the merchant laughed and said, "My good fellow, do you mean to tell me you traveled all the way to London town just because of a dream? You left your home just because of a dream?" And the peddler answered, "Well, I did indeed." "Let me give you a word of advice," said the merchant. "For I myself have had this strange dream 3 nights running, that if I were to go to the far off little town of Swaffham, and I don't even know where that is, that if I were to go to the home of a peddler that lives there and go to the oak tree in his backyard and dig under it, I would find a great treasure.
and you don't see me leaving my home to go to far-off Swaffham." And the peddler kindly thanked him and said, "I think I will take your advice, and I will return home." The peddler did return home, and he went to the oak tree in his backyard, and he dug it up. And there was an ancient Roman treasure. And so the peddler and his wife became rich. And you needn't think that the peddler became greedy once he did, because he donated to the church there in Swaffham so they might repair their roof. And because of this, there is now a statue to him with his pack on his back and his dog by his side, to know that I am telling the truth. And the moral of the story is always follow your dreams, because they might just lead you home. Thank you.
Yay! Very good moral of the story. Thank you for participating again. And our next performer is Siegfried Brumbach. If you would, please unmute yourself and take it away.
All right, I'm Siegfried. I'm live right now in the Barony of Red Spears in North Oaken in the Midrealm. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a period piece, a cantiga, and this is a piece, and so I'll take a little bit of explanation, and then it's about a man who, his son dies to a fever, and then he's forced to flee the city because it's invaded. He then leaves, but he comes back afterwards. He prays for the survival of it, and he comes back, and he finds that his house is actually standing. It's the only house standing. His son is alive and has been protected by the Virgin the entire time. And so in a lot of ways, I think as we're all separated out from illness, not able to see each other, what I would love to see as we come home, whether home is Pensick, whether home is another place, as we come home to be able to see each other all well and all in good cheer. And so when you don't understand the lyrics, they're all in Galician Portuguese, so you're not supposed to, or unless you speak that. Honredora las virtudes que a Virgen son dadas, y de guarda pena cruzas, que son comendadas. Ancora capo Sevilla, pues temera crepito, no tempo que Abu Yosef a su ben pelo estrepeto, dal Jezira a terra, de Sevilla toda eto, come nimiutas ateas, forendos moros quemadas, entre todas las virtudes que a Virgen son dadas, que de ben acusas, que de son comendadas. Todas estas maravillas, ores es sorry. Ores por enteron a Virgen gloriosa, e a cuantos yo diseron, miseron su nome, e gran feste fezeron, e hoy vi con alegría, muitas lágrimas rodadas. todas, que sonadadas, e de guardabena cruzas, que de zona comentadas.
Well done. Thank you so much. And would you be willing to send me the lyrics later? I'm just curious, in the English translation, I'm just curious to hear.
I don't have an English translation. I can give you the summary, but it's Cantiga 323. If you, but I can send you that. Yeah.
That would be wonderful. I'm just curious.
Sure.
Thank you so much for participating. So next, our next performer is Jolisha at Northcliffe. If you would please, Jolisha, unmute yourself, give me a little introduction, and take it away. Jolisha, I believe you're still muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Have at it.
Right. Hi, everybody. I'm Jalicia. I'm going to do an original poem that I wrote called I Am Home. And home made me think of Pinzik, which we're not going to be at this year. And it's kind of just an SCA culture poem. Unfortunately, it's not really period, but hope you enjoy it. And then I'm going to play my psaltery, which is a new instrument for me. And I'm going to do variations on Hey Ho, Nobody Home. Okay, here we go. And that's a tune that dates to the 16th century. It's also often sung as a round, and it was collected in the Ravencroft Songbook, listed under Songs for 5 Voices. Okay. I am home. Overstuffed car pulling overstuffed trailer lumbers eastward in the early morning glare. McDonald's and Target and Jiffy Lube give way to green meadows and cornfields that stretch on and on. Pennsylvania license plates surround us. We are going home. Now we pull into a lane at our destination, but not quite. Husband leaves me to go work at Troll while we who wait swap stories of all-night packing and rude drivers. Inching forward, inching forward, inching forward. Finally, it is my turn. I get a medallion that feels cold, then warm in. And when I hear those sweet, sweet words, my household, loud, wine drink, in love and respect. We are home. While others slumber at dawn, I make my way to a huge tent where we players strut a while upon the stage. How sweet to spend each morning with Shakespeare's 3 wives, the hunchback, murderous princes, and wives whose bloody hands will not come clean. I am home. At night, I take my place among the enchanters, those who possess the magic to make music with breath and fingers and lips. 4 loud booms of the drum and we are off, lungs filling and fingers flying as dancers turn and bow, stamping feet and clasping hands as they laugh and twirl. We play, they dance until all are breathless and red-cheeked. Just to find my bed. My husband told me to take a flashlight. I did not take a flashlight. Yet I am not blind. The night is ablaze with campfires, and I float on the sounds of friends talking low and the giggles of lovers who pass me by on their way to private adventures. Darkness envelops me like a soft shawl. I look up and behold the sky studded with stars and more stars and more stars. The universe is so vast. I am so small. I am home.
Oh no. So she had previously said that her internet was in and out and spotty, so we did just lose Jolicia. So I'm going to clap for her now. And I know I said this last showcase, but for anyone who's watching along at home, you can't see it, but all of the performers on here is kind of like the Muppets. You know, every time somebody performs, we all, you know, shake our hands and clap and everything, and it's quite delightful. So you're really missing out on not being part of this Zoom meeting. Our next performer is Michael McKay. Michael, if you would please give me a little introduction and take it away. Unmute yourself.
All right, well, I'm Michael McKay. I hail from the riding of Hochland Moor in the barony of Northwoods, which is in the Pentamere region of the Midrealm. And while I currently live in Pentamere, which mundanely is the lower peninsula of Michigan, I got my start in the SCA farther north in the Shire of Mystic-Waytrue, which was at the time part of the Principality of North Shield. And is mundanely in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So all very near Lake Superior and nature. And when I think of home, I think back to those places and those days where I got my beginnings in the SC. So this is a song that I wrote probably about 10 years or so ago in honor of that place and those people. Oh, can you hear me, my misty water? Your northern shores have called me home again. The midwinter snow, your virgin daughter. The summer wind, the sun you can't contain. I once found shelter along your border. Brave lady's song was once my only friend. Those starry nights were a constant warder. For troubled thoughts your light could surely mend. Oh, can you hear me, my misty water? Your northern shores have called me home again. Oh, can you hear me, my misty water? Your northern shores have called me home again. If honor forged from dragons' fiery breath, and wisdom gleaned from griffins' golden tongue, a teacher's words will live on long past death, as students grow and move to teach the young. Now the northern woods are full of wonder. The raging straits have strength that cannot fail. New home and friends give cause to ponder those lessons learned when I was young and frail. Oh, can you hear me, my misty waters? Your northern shores have called me home again. Oh, can you hear me, my misty waters? Your northern shores have called me home again. Though memories fade and those sands will fall, the fellowship of your shores I'll recall. Though memories fade and those sands will fall, the fellowship of your shores I'll recall. Oh, can you hear me, my misty waters? Your northern shores have called me home again. Oh, can you hear me, my misty waters? Your northern shores have called me home.
Thank you so much, Michael, and I really appreciate you participating. This is your first time participating with us, so thank you for doing that. That was lovely. Our next performer is Tomasu. If you would please give a little introduction, unmute yourself, and take it away, please.
I'm just getting over seeing Michael not stabbing me. Usually when I see him on the receiving side of his rapier. So that's a nice change. Great song. We should have kept North Shield, at least most of it. As it happens, I have just started learning this song when you announced the theme. So I'm going to do this one. We've come through the valleys, come through the fields, we crossed over rivers to find ourselves here. We sang songs of sorrow, we sang songs of love. Let's sing one more together to send ourselves off. Safe home, safe home, safe home will you go. May the light of the moon smile down on your road. Safe home, safe home, safe home will you go. Until I next see you, safe home will you go. We've laid down our worries, our troubles, our fears. Shores on the strand, washed by laughter and fear. But the tide has returned now to lift us away back to our houses and families we pray. Safe home, safe home, safe home will you go. The light of the moon smile down on your road. Safe home, safe home, safe home will you go. Until I next see you, safe home will you go. The fiddle are quiet, the whistles all still, only echoes remain from the jigs and the reels. The dance floor is empty, our farewells have been said. Now it's time to be going till we all meet again. Safe home, safe home, safe home will you go. May the light of the moon smile down on your road. Safe home, safe home, safe home will you go. Until I next see you, safe home will you go. Safe home, safe home, safe home will you go. The light of the moon smile down on your road. Safe home, safe home, safe home will you go.
Till I next see you, safe home will you go. Until I next see you, safe home will you go.
Yay. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Our next performer is Dulan Merkmark. If you would please, Dulan, give us a little introduction and unmute yourself and take it away.
Hi. Well, let's see if I can understand this technology. And I can't. So, okay. All right. So when Her Ladyship put out the topic, I thought, well, I don't have a good song in my repertoire that's ready to go. And a couple days later, as a lot of us are, we're missing Penzik, not getting to go to Penzik this year. And I don't get to participate in the SCA and go to as many events as I'd like, but Penzik is always one of them. It's the big one for me, as it is for lots of us. So not getting to go this year kind of hurts a little. But I let myself think about all the things that make it wonderful for me and why I love it so much. And this song came to life. So I present it for you tonight. If it has a name, I guess, I'll call it The Fields and the Groves. There's a place on this earth many miles far away, an enchanted world all its own, where the nights come alive and the sun shines all day. In every kingdom, its place name is known. We plan and we dream all year long, so it seems, for the journey we know lying ahead. As we come round the bend, the pavilions they gleam, welcome home to all it is said. The fields and the groves, the glens and the roads, my heart surely knows them by name. Standards wave in the sky, a nod passing by, there is no other place quite the same. Old friends reunite as we set up our town with our smiles and glee uncontained. Adventures to have, making stories renown, knowledge and glory to attain. The masters they teach, the students they learn, brave warriors take to the field. And as the sun wanes, the fire brightly burns, and we raise our cups high full of mead. The fields and the groves, the glens and the roads, my heart surely knows them by name. Standards wave in the sky, look, the queen's passing by. There is no other place quite the same. Afternoon stillness, shade from the trees, feasting and Bardic abounds. Moonlight on the paths, twilight rides on the breeze, and the dream comes alive all around. The markets, the lore, our founders before, this place has been built with such care. Each of us has a place in this magical world, a dream we all come to share. The time seems to fly as the weeks pass us by, the memories not to forget. And as we take leave to say our goodbye, next year will be better yet. The fields and the groves, the glens and the roads, our hearts surely know them by name. Standards wave in the sky, a smile passing by, there is no other place quite the same. We each have our reason we hold this place dear, in our camps or as we go roam. And to you, all my friends, may you return every year to this place we all can call home. For there's a place in this earth many miles far away, an enchanted world all its own, where the nights come alive and the sun shines all day. Oh, Pendic, we yearn to be home.
That was awesome. Thank you so much. And you wrote that. That's great. And I'm going to tell you guys, I got pretty sad about Penzic the other day. Like, it really hit me. So, but that's okay, because next year, 2021, it's going to be amazing. So we only have one more performance left, and it's actually a recording. So Elspeth, actually, if you would go ahead and unmute. Did you get your mic situation figured out? Maybe. Yes. Okay, there you go. If you would please give us your song again, because we all really want to hear it.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay. Let's try this again. Do you want me to give the introduction again or just the song?
We did hear the introduction. It was, you started coming out with the song. So go ahead and sing for me. Sing.
I found my home in the land of wildwood, where the dogwood grows and the redbud blooms. The rivers, they run through the valley and the hillside, and the gloaming hears the whippoorwill sing. The sun shines bright in the land of wildwood, where the white-tailed deer and the red squirrel play. I walk along the valleys and the hillside and sit at dusk while the whippoorwill sings. My children grow in the land of wildwood. Their feet are stained with the red dirt clay. Their laughter is heard through the valleys and the hillsides, and they catch fireflies as the whippoorwill sings. My love resides in the land of wildwood. I see his smile where the red fern grows. Side by side we stroll through the clover and fall asleep while the whippoorwill sings. I have found my home in the land of
Woo!
You get all of it that time?
Yes, we got it all, and it was good, girl.
Thank you.
That was really good. Thank you so much, and for your willingness to find the mic. So, our last piece is actually a recording from Dr. Henry Best. So I'm going to share my screen real quick, and we're going to have story time with Dr. Best. Oops, sorry.
Master Henry? Master? I brought some SCA people. They want to see you do some magic.
Hell no.
What do you mean no? Come on.
There's no more SCA. There's no more magic.
Master, I brought you an audience. They're here.
We're healthy at home.
Master! Stop this. It's showtime.
share my screen real quick.
Showtime. I'll get some stuff. Hi kids, and welcome to Dr. Henry Best's School of Magic, where we teach you the classics of magic so that you can perform them at home. In 1584, Reginald Scott described a trick in The Discovery of Witchcraft, cutting a lace asunder and restoring it with birds. The cut and restored rope trick. And that's what we're going to perform today. I've got an ordinary piece of rope here, completely ordinary, like you'd find in any bedroom. And that's because the secret to the cut and restored rope trick is not in the rope itself, but in a special knot we magicians know called the Egyptian pop knot. And I'm going to teach you how to tie that ancient and venerable knot. Now it's very important you measure your rope carefully so that you can cut it into two pieces exactly the same size. A feature of the Egyptian pop knot is that if the ropes are not the same size, the trick will not work. Excuse me. Moving on. The Egyptian pop knot. You bring one rope around the other, come around, come through, and pull tight. You go back and forth the same way you go in and out. You go in and out at the same time as you went back and forth. Come around, come through, pull tight, and you have one Egyptian pop knot. Now, next you reach into your pocket, get a little bit of pixie dust. Sprinkle that pixie dust on the knot. The unique topology of the Egyptian pop knot combined with the magical properties of the pixie dust will cause the knot to dissolve and pop right off the rope, leaving you where you started, one long piece of rope. Now I'm going to teach you exactly how to tie that knot. To do that, we're going to cut the rope into 3 pieces. That way, you'll have 2 opportunities to learn to tie the knot, because it will take 2 knots in order to put 3 pieces of rope back together again. I hope I'm not too fast for anyone. I hate that part, but there we are. So, excuse me. No, that's cool. So we have 3 pieces of rope, all the same size. 1, 2, and 3. That's very important. If the ropes are not the same size, the trick won't work. If, for example, you had one rope that was too short, the trick won't work. If you had one rope that was the right size, and then another one that was too long, the trick wouldn't work. This could happen to anyone. If it happens to you, we magicians have what we call a contingency plan. And since we're in this situation, I might as well teach you how to get out of it again. You get out of this problem with logic. Logically, if the ends of the ropes are equal, the middle of the ropes are just fine. This can take some convincing. You have to have a suggestible audience, and you have to get them to play along. I do that by waving the ends of the rope in their face like sort of an epileptic, hypnotic squid. And the suggestible members of the audience will start to imagine that they see back to the Egyptian poppy. You bring one rope round the other. Come round, come through, pull tight. You go back and forth the same way you go in and out. Go in and out at the same time as you went back and forth. Come around, come through, pull tight. Have one Egyptian poppy knot. Now I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to do it very fairly and very carefully. You may want to take notes. Bring one rope around the other one. Come around, come through, and pull tight. Back and forth the same way you go in and out. In and out at the same time as you went back and forth. Come around, come through, pull tight. Now we have two Egyptian pop knots. And next, get a little bit more pixie dust. Sprinkle that on the knots. Now, a lot of people ask me, Dr. Best, where do you get such great pixie dust? Well, I grind my own, and you want to be careful about that. Don't do it when your parents are home, because pixies can make a heck of a noise in the blender, and it can be distressing for the elderly. After a while, the knots do begin to dissolve, and they pop right off the knot, leaving you right where you started. One long piece of rope, and that's the Egyptian pop knot. Thank you very much.
That was wonderful.
Yeah? I think I could eat something.
Of course, Master. There's pie.
Woo! All right, I need him to explain that trick. Although I know a magician never reveals their secrets. Maybe we could all like convince him to explain this one because I'm a little flabbergasted. So that is the end. My husband glared at me because he wants me to sing. So do you guys mind if I sing something? Okay. All right. I'm getting, you can't, none of you can see this at home, but I'm getting enthusiastic arm waving and Kermit flails. So I chose a song. It was written in 1608. I hope no one gets too mad at me for that. But it was a cute little song that I thought, you know, that fits the theme. So take it away, Honor. A north country maid up to London had strayed, although with her nature, oh, I'm sorry, if did not agree. She wept and she sighed, and she bitterly cried, I wish once again in the north I could be. Oh, the oak and the ash and the bonny ivy tree, they flourish at home in my own country. While sadly I roam, I regret my dear home, where lads and young lasses are making the hay. The merry bells ring, and the birds sweetly sing, and maidens and meadows are pleasant and gay. Oh, the oak and the ash and the bonny ivy tree, they flourish at home in my own country. No doubt did I please, I could marry with ease. Where maidens are fair, many lovers will come. But he whom I wed must be North Country bred, and carry me back to my North Country home. Oh, the oak and the ash and the bonny ivy tree, they flourish at home in my own country home. Oh, the oak and the ash and the bonny ivy tree, they flourish at home in my own country. I want to thank everyone who participated in making the June Midrealm Bardic Showcase a smash, and I appreciate everyone watching at home for your patience while we got the post live stream approved by moderators. So I'll make sure not to let that happen next time. I'll make sure to get it right so that you can get it spot on. But thank you everyone who participated. I hope to see all of your faces next month. I will be revealing the theme for next month's showcase on the first Sunday of July. So I believe that's July 5th. So keep an eye on the Kingdom page and the SCA Bardic Arts page. And then the actual showcase is always going to be the fourth Friday of the month. So put that on your calendars. And a huge thank you to our KMOS, Mr. Sarai, for letting us use her Zoom account and for live streaming this to Facebook. We could not do it without her because I am not I'm not tech savvy. So thank you again, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye.
Thank you so much for hosting.
All right, we are, hang on, I gotta stop recording still. Do you want to stop cloud recording?